All right, fellas, let's turn our attention to the West region, and I'm going to start by making a case for Florida and Todd Golden, who, you know what, guys, I think they have a case to be the best team in the country. They are 30-4, the SEC champions, second overall in Ken Pom. They're also the best offensive team in the country by the numbers, number 10 in defense. Here's what I like about them beyond the numbers. First of all, they play fast. But they do it with legit size. They've got Alex Condon. They've got Ruben Chignello. They've got Micah Handlugden back. And then they've got Thomas Hawk. I don't know how that name, I've never known how Haugh spells Hawk, but whatever, we're going with it. He's a heck of a player. They've got 4 legit bigs that they can rotate in and out of the game. And then they have arguably the best backcourt in the country with Walter Clayton, Elijah Martin, Will Richardson. They take care of the ball. They're an excellent offensive rebounding team. They force tough shots. And they've got 6 straight wins now over what were ranked teams at the time of the game. So Florida is my choice to come out of the West region. It's not exactly a hot take since they are the number 1 overall team. But when we look at this, what I want to ask you guys, and Trotter, I will start with you. If not Florida, then who?
My eyes immediately went to Texas Tech, and I love backing teams in March that can score in a variety of ways. And I think this Texas Tech offense, when healthy, is one of the most well-rounded units in college basketball. Darian Williams is such an X factor for them because he scores those tough shots that a lot of teams are trying to force in the middle of the floor. He can play a little booty ball. He can back you down if he has a smaller guy on him, get to those fadeaway jumpers in the paint. But you have JT Toppin and the Elijah Hawkins pick and roll that's been one of the most unstoppable actions in college basketball this year. Toppin will destroy you in the paint with his little floaters, and all his touch around the rim is terrific. And then they're also one of the best three-point shooting teams in college basketball. Like, Chance McMillian is a straight-up sniper. Christian Anderson comes off the bench and looks completely fearless. Elijah Hawkins, you have to guard him. Kevin Overton, you have to guard him. Darian Williams, you have to guard him. JT Toppin, you got to guard him. Like, that team can score from 3, they can score from mid-range, and they can score at the rim in very, very efficient ways. They have great coaching there. Grant McCaslin's done a terrific job with that group. He's weaponized that offense. They've transformed into a group that I think just, it feels like they're almost a little bit matchup proof, where they've seen so many different coverages this year, and they just cook all of them. Like, that's the team where I think, yes, Florida's the favorite, and they should be. They're playing terrific right now. But if you see Texas Tech in the Elite Eight, like, that would be an absolute banger of a game. I would be super excited to see that one. I have Texas Tech coming out of this region.
All right, Chris, we got Florida, we got Texas Tech. Obviously, St. John's is extremely hot right now, but give me like a sleeper that could get all the way to San Antonio.
Man, you guys are getting me in so much trouble here, but I'm going to say a sleeper could be Arkansas. Oh, hold on. You want my sleeper, my Cinderella, or you want my sleeper to get there? My top team to get there?
I want to give me.
I'm picking the Memphis Tigers. Now I got a little asterisk up top. Tyrese Hunter, and we talked about this a little bit today. He could be hurt. I am picking the Tigers. You look at their preseason schedule, because we used to do this for Gonzaga, right? Because they played no one in their during the conference. They beat Clemson. They beat UConn. They beat Michigan State. They beat Missouri. This team is really good. They beat Virginia, right? They played whoever wanted to come, they played them. They lost to Auburn. I mean, this team is really, really good. PJ Haggerty, my homie from H-Town, this kid has been absolutely phenomenal. And I think it's about time that Penny gets his just due. Again, you're talking about he remade that roster. He went into the portal. He's got an older team. Again, the AAC, not a great league. But again, it doesn't matter. This team is battle tested, and it's the one that people aren't talking about enough. And I'm telling you, if they get into the field with Florida, and Florida's got some, listen, I think Florida's good, but Florida's got to get past UConn. And a lot of people may not think Danny Hurley, can get that done. They got to get past UConn. I like Memphis's chances on a neutral court. They're not going to be intimidated. Yes, Florida's a great team, and they're on a heater right now. But do not count out Memphis. But there's an asterisk. If Tyrese Hunter's not there, if not there, I am going with Texas Tech. Isaac, I agree with you. I love the job Grant McCaslin has done. I'm either going to take Memphis if Tyrese Hunter's not hurt, but if Tyrese Hunter's hurt, I'm going with the Red Raiders.
All right, well, I'm going with Colorado State. So let's talk sleepers, because I don't think this is getting out of the first round. I think Nico Medved is poised to score an upset. And we're gonna start with this, okay? The basics: top 50 in offense and defense, great passing team, efficient shooting team at all three levels. A little turnover prone. They don't really offensive rebound, but they're solid defensively. They're an excellent defensive rebounding team. And here's maybe the most important factor I have. When you're looking for a Cinderella pick, one of the things that I like to look for is which Cinderella team has a player that is better than anyone else on the higher seed. And I think Colorado State has that. Nick Clifford, guys, is playing at an absolute elite level. He is averaging, since January 18th, 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. That's over the course of the last 2 months. His shooting splits, 51, 44, 78. Now, postseason, last week, he raised that bar even more. 25 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. This guy is even making shots last year. He was on NBA radars last year, especially if Tyrese Hunter doesn't play. I think Colorado State is primed for a potential upset bid. So again, if you are filling out that bracket and you give bonus points for picking an upset one, given that Tyrese Hunter is very uncertain to play in this game, I really think Colorado State is a potential sleeper. And Chris, you and I can talk afterwards about a little side wager, as long as it doesn't violate any Paramount company policies. We'll get to that off camera. Trotter, who else is a Cinderella pick in the West?
Yeah, well, I've been a big Mizzou fan all year long, and I got a sinking feeling as the bracket's shaking out, and I saw Drake as their first round matchup, because that is not going to go very well. This is going to be an extremely tough matchup for this Missouri team, and Missouri is a very aggressive defense. That's not a great strategy, I don't think, against this Drake team that's extremely well coached. Bennett Sturtz and Ben McCollum, there's a mind meld there between head coach and point guard. All of these guys have played together for a long time. They play slow. They're going to grind the game down. Like, I guarantee you this is a 58-54 game at the under 4 timeout. Like, that is what it's going to be. It's going to be a tight 2-possession game with very few minutes left in the clock, and it's going to be late game execution. I think Drake knows who they are a little bit more than Missouri does. There's been times this year where Missouri's lineups have been a little bit all over the place. They're still kind of figuring out, hey, what's our best 5? Who are we closing with this game? Who's got it going this time? Drake kind of knows all of the answers to those questions. So give me Drake in a little bit of an upset, even though that Missouri team, like, I really wanted them to get a good draw because I thought that team could make the Final Four with the right breaks.
Drake is 30-3. Ben McCollum came from Northwest Missouri State, where he was a D2 powerhouse. Won 4 national championships, 3 in a row. I mean, 3 in a row because the streak was interrupted by the COVID year, but they won national championships in 2019, 21, and 22. And he's going to be a Drake for all of about 11 months because, I hate to break it to you, Drake fans, he's going to be on the move again pretty soon. It's just a matter of where. Chris, you alluded to it that you liked. I think you said John Calipari. Is Arkansas your Cinderella in this region?
Listen, guys, you got to pick SEC teams because, I mean, they put 39 of them in the tournament. Like, it's like, in order for us to justify what the committee did, you got to pick somebody from the SEC has to do some damage, one of those lower seeds. I'll say this, higher seeds, shall I say. They play Kansas. I am not on the Kansas bus at all. I love Bill Self. This team ain't it, right? It ain't it. And I think Arkansas gets past them. Now, you guys would know, I don't know if Boogie Flan will be back. They say Boogie Flan can play or possibly will be available. I don't know chemistry-wise how that looks, but I know that gives Calipari more weapons. Right? They get past Kansas. Now, they play St. John's. I'm a Big East guy. I love Rick Pitino. He's done a lot with a little. And I don't know who you can say that, well, does St. John's have really true stars? Kadari Richmond, R.J. Louise came from UMass. Zuby Ejiofor didn't play at Kansas. Aaron Scott played for North Texas. You had Davon Smith, who came from Utah. That's a hodgepodge of guys that Rick Pitino has put together and has had a tremendous season. But I think Arkansas has the talent and size to get past them. That's just what I believe. Again, and you can forget about what happened in the SEC or what happened before and the way Arkansas has struggled. I just believe talent-wise, and then you throw in John Calipari's inexperience in the tournament, again, you're asking me to pick a Cinderella. If a team can beat St. John's, Arkansas can do it. Very athletic. They have the size. Can they beat Kansas? Absolutely. Now, when they get to Texas Tech, it'll be very, very difficult because I think Texas Tech will grind them out. But as I said before, would I be surprised that this team makes a run? Absolutely not.
All right, now, guys, I want to dig into this point real quick because as we have finished breaking down the West region, we each picked a Final Four. Nobody picked St. John's. And now we've got at least the potential for an Arkansas upset over St. John's. This is a Johnny's team that is as hot as anyone in the country. They're 30-4, have the best defense in college basketball, and they've got Rick Pitino. And I will take Rick Pitino over just about anyone, especially right now. They are locked in. So, Trotter, I want to give you the opportunity to have the last word on this one. How far do you have the Johnnies going in your personal bracket?
Yeah, I have them in the Sweet 16, and I have them losing to Texas Tech. And honestly, I don't feel great about it. I think for me with St. John's, I think I know what the non-negotiables are with them every single night. They're going to play extremely hard. They're the best switchable defense in college basketball. I think Zuby Ejiofor can guard literally all 5 positions. Kadari Richmond, same deal. RJ Luis, same deal. Like that type of impact is something that I think gets them out of that first weekend. Just because Kansas and Arkansas, both teams have times where like they don't score for like 3 to 5 minute stretches. And so like that type of like half court offense that can go astray a little bit, that scares me against St. John's, who like they can just vice grip you and lock you up. So I lean St. John's to make it out of the first weekend. But that Texas Tech team, like I said earlier, the number of threes they shoot compared to the number of threes that St. John shoots, I think the math could lead to Texas Tech advancing. And that's why I have Texas Tech in my Elite Eight and ultimately in my Final Four.
And here's my final point on the Johnnies. The people who are critical of them will cite the non-conference record. That is the same thing that is cited to justify the SEC getting 14 bids. But guys, the non-conference schedule, that was 4 months ago. These are different teams. St. John's is a different team right now than they were 4 months ago. So too is Texas and a lot of these other teams. So too is Oklahoma, who is also in this bracket. They open with UConn. The winner of them likely gets Florida. So there are a lot of interesting subplots here in the West region. You know what? We're going to continue to break this down all week long. As I said, the 24/7 Sports College Basketball Show. This is just the first of 4 episodes this week. We are the pregame show Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 1 p.m. live on the CBS Sports Network. You are not going to want to miss that.